Welcome to another MECH 1000 video. In this video, we're going to be using the offset command. So I'm going to start by drawing a line. Just a simple horizontal line. And I'll show you how we can use the offset command. The offset command basically copies an object and makes a parallel copy of it. I mean, that's maybe not exactly the best description, but it kind of gives the gist of what's going on here. So offset command is in the bottom right corner of the modify toolbar. Looks like they've changed the way the icon looks. It used to look a little different than that. But there's the icon right there. And so like some other commands in AutoCAD, like the fillet and chamfer command, for example, or yeah, I think that, well, I guess those are the two that pop into to my mind. You have to specify a distance first. You have to do a little bit of keyboarding before you start clicking. So it's going to ask you to specify an offset distance. So it's basically going to make a copy of this line. I'm going to turn off my object snap. I'm going to make a copy of this line and copy it in one direction, either up or down, a certain distance. And I have to enter in that distance before I start clicking. So I'll say I want an offset distance of 1 inch. So I'm going to put in 1, enter, and then I choose the object I wish to offset, and then I can choose the direction. I either want to offset it, in this case, up or down. Okay, so I've offset it up. It's basically created a copy of it and moved it in a direction perpendicular to the line so that the copy is parallel to the original. And the offset command remains active. It's kind of like the line command in that it keeps prompting you to do more and more, so I can just keep clicking and clicking until I've decided, okay, I've offset that enough, I'm done with it, and then you hit the escape command to exit out of it, or the escape button to exit out of it. So I've offset that line vertically. I can come back here and draw a vertical line and offset it. Now, because I've already used the offset command in this session of AutoCAD, it remembers the offset distance that I used last, and that now becomes the default. So if I wish to offset this line by 1 inch again, I don't have to enter the number 1, but I do have to either right-click, enter, or spacebar to let AutoCAD know that yes, I still want to do it 1 inch. So I hit the enter key on my keyboard, and then I can just click this line and start offsetting it. So the offset command can be useful when you're wanting to create multiple copies like this. It can kind of work at times in place of the copy or array command. But this is not really where it shines because, like I said, you could just copy this line. So we could have used the copy command to achieve the same effect. So I'll just show you here. I've copied it up. So I could have just simply used the copy command. I'll copy this over to here, and here, and here, and here, and here. So what's the big deal? Why do I need the offset command? Well, couple reasons. One is, let's draw something other than a line. Let's say a circle or a rectangle. Let's do both. So when you use the offset command with a closed shape like this, and maybe I'll use a smaller distance this time. Let's go just 1/4 of an inch. So I can offset the circle to the outside, to the outside, to the outside. So you see what's happening here is it's not creating an exact copy of the original. Every time I offset it, it gets larger and larger and larger by 1/4 of an inch. Or I can come over here and select this rectangle and copy it to the, or rather offset it to the inside. And every time I do that, the rectangle gets smaller and smaller. So that's unique to the offset command. I couldn't do that with a copy or array command. So it creates a series of concentric circles or rectangles that are, each rectangle is progressively smaller, or if I go in the other direction, I can make larger rectangles. Okay, so that's somewhat unique to the offset command. The other thing that offset is really useful for is when you have a line that is not vertical or horizontal. So if I want to create a series of lines that are parallel to this one, I would have a hard time doing that with the copy command, because I would need to copy it in a direction that is perfectly perpendicular to this line. And I don't really have a good way of knowing what that direction is. I seem to be having some problems with my escape button today. I don't know if it's hardware or software, but there we go. Finally escaped out of that. So in this case, the offset command is going to be the tool I want to use. So I'll choose the offset command, put in an offset distance, let's say 0.5, and enter. And I can choose this and offset it in any direction I choose, to the left or to the right. And so it creates all of these lines that are all perfectly parallel to each other. They're all exactly the same length. And that would be really difficult to do with a copy or array command. In fact, I don't think it would be at all possible with the array command. And I suppose maybe you could use a path array. But at any rate, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. It's really, though, just a good example of where offset command really is the best option. So whether you have a closed shape that you want to expand out or make a series of smaller and smaller shapes, or whether you're wanting to create a series of copies in a diagonal direction, offset command is going to be a real useful tool. And so I just want to mention here that this type of application of the offset command, where we're making parallel copies in diagonal direction, that's going to be really useful when we get to doing our isometric drawings. So for now, when we're doing things just orthographically for the most part, vertical and horizontal, the offset command can be used, but like I said, you can maybe use a copy or array command to achieve the same effect. But once we start doing isometric drawings, drawings that have a lot of lines that are not vertical or horizontal, offset command is going to be really an indispensable tool. It really, really shines in that application. Okay, so that's the offset command. If you've got any questions on how to use the offset command, be sure to let your instructor know.